Hey yo, what's good everybody, the Who Dat Nation? It's the one and only Who Dat, David here for ya. And if you don't know, you will know that over here we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. Thank y'all for checking out today's video, and as always, a special shout out to every single person in the comment section and every single person who checks out my content on a regular basis, whether it be TJ Jones from the State of the Saints podcast, to WD, to Carly and CB from the WDN, the Who Dat Nation Chatline podcast, to Jerry Poor, to Ghostface Griller, to Dada Saint, to Damian Parker, to Damian Green, to Rose City, and everybody else I haven't gotten to yet. I apologize. I'm still learning names. I'm still getting used to you guys. Only one of me. So many of y'all, right? It's crazy. But honestly, guys, I got something lined up for you later on this year. That thing is going to be special guest of the week. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once a week, starting probably around July when training camp starts, I'm going to be bringing on at least one person during my live podcast. So we're going to talk shop at either Saints stuff, or it's going to be just football in general, what you hope to see, or just, just personal stuff like your favorite movie or what you like to do for your hobby, just stuff like that. It's going to be my way of saying thank you by giving time and recognition to everybody who supports me and my channel. Speaking of support, back when we got this chair right here and this table right here, we are going to be hitting another milestone here on this channel. We are going to be pushing to getting a new camera set up right here next to me to put out more quality content on a regular basis. My Cash App is going to be once again put down in the description, along with my Facebook handle, my Twitter handle, and my Instagram on top of that. So if you guys want to donate, if you guys want to see that new camera posted up right here, and a microphone, camera and microphone, you guys can go ahead and just hit up my Cash App down there, donate, and that money is going to be set aside to put towards that type of gear. But you guys didn't come here to see me just promote stuff, right? You guys are here to hear my thoughts on who I believe is going to be winning the will linebacker spot for the New Orleans Saints. We've got Zack Baun versus Pete Werner. We're going to be talking about each guy respectively, starting with Zack Baun, what he's done so far, what he struggles with, what he's good at, and what I believe is going to be going forward with him, and then vice versa with Pete Werner. And then we're going to close it out with our final thoughts. Time for promotion and stuff is over. It's time to get down with the breakdown. Let's go.
Absolutely drilled by Zack Baun, a rookie out of Wisconsin, their third-round pick.
Well, that'll fire you up right there. Lord have mercy.
Linebacker Zack Baun. Shout out again to WD for that little tribute there to Zack Baun, by the way. Zack Baun coming into his second year with the New Orleans Saints. He came from a Wisconsin 3-4 system where he was more of an outside linebacker. And that's also Sam. They line up off the ball, they rush the passer, and they also play the run. Kind of like a defensive end. At the same time, they're not. If you don't know what an outside linebacker is supposed to look like, look no further than Zadarius Smith from Green Bay, to Khalil Mack in Chicago, or even down here in the NFC South with Brian Burns from Carolina, or Shaquille Barrett from Tampa Bay. Zack Baun, he's a fast guy. He's got that tenacity to his game. He doesn't give up on the play, but coming from a system where you play Sam to Will, it's not an easy transition, even if you now have a full proper offseason and OTAs to you, right? So let's go ahead and get into what he struggles with. He struggles with shedding blocks. He struggles with just play recognition as a whole, right? He has a very specific skill set, and is trying to learn more on top of that. And that's I believe he still needs another year to really understand what the coaches are asking of him with this weak side linebacker position. But that's just my thoughts, right? Because apparently he's going to be competing with Pete Werner for that will linebacker position. Which, what does that mean? That typically means that they're pretty far along, right? They're pretty far along, so the sky's the limit for Zack Baun. Right now, it's kind of his to lose because he already has a full year in the Saints defense with Dennis Allen and Demario Davis and a little bit of Alex Anzalone. Ooh, I know, right? Anzalone. But I have to say it because it's important. He's also had Craig Robertson teaching him, those linebackers imparting their wisdom on a guy that only had a little bit of training camp to him before he got injured. Zack Baun is right now, I believe he's favored by many Saints fans to win the starting linebacker role. And if he does, great. I hope he balls out. I really hope he balls out. But for right now, we're going to get into my guy. I can't say it enough. My guy. Pete Werner, the linebacker out of Ohio State. Let's go.
Gotta keep my head up, never get that low, 'cause I'm living this life, now it's all I know, like, oh, it's a life I chose, so I need to step up everywhere I go, now they screaming my name after every show, like, oh, it's a life I chose.
Pete Werner, a 4-year starter linebacker for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's coming into a position in a little more favorable position than most would probably think, right? Because he's played will linebacker with the Ohio State Buckeyes during his tenure there, right? And even though there's a lot of differences between playing a will in college and will in the pros, the fundamentals are similar, if not the very same. On top of all of that, he has a proper season to coming into the New Orleans Saints with minicamp, OTAs, and he's got training camp coming up, and he's got preseason games. So he's got that experience. He's got the experience playing the position, whereas Zack Baun only has experience with, playing with the team. And I believe his skill set is going to outweigh the year of experience, which is not that much. There's only a small gap. There's a small gap when you look at it. A small gap between those two guys. Pete Werner, I've equated Pete Werner to be a poor man's Luke Kuechly. If you don't know who Luke Kuechly was, he was probably the best linebacker in the NFC South when he was playing for the Carolina Panthers, and rightfully so. I give my shouts out to him. But he retired way too early for his age. I hope to see him a little more because it's always a fun time watching him fly around the field when he's not playing my guys, the New Orleans Saints. But to equate Pete Werner to Luke Kuechly, even though it's kind of like a poor man's Luke Kuechly, it just shows I have a lot of praise and a lot of admiration for what Pete Werner is able to bring to this defense. And what does he bring? He brings not only just lateral ability, he also brings that experience of covering, tight ends like Pat Frymuth from Penn State, who's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's covered the likes of Stevie Scott, who's now with the New Orleans Saints. He has that experience just understanding what he needs to do to cover tight ends, to cover running backs. He's very fast. He's deceptively fast. A lot of guys would say he plays so slow, he plays fast. Yeah, let that stir in your head for a second. But honestly, I think this job is his to gain. He has nothing to lose if he doesn't win it, but he has everything to gain. Let's talk about his character traits, right? Zack Baun is a fun guy. He's a serious guy. He's all about his business, just like Pete Werner is all about his business when he's playing on the field. When he's off the field, you guys watched his interviews. Pete Werner is a guy that really you would love to sit down and have a beer with. When he's off the field and when he's on the field, you don't want to be in his way. This guy is a monster. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check out some of his tape. I kid you not, the guy is something special. I do believe they've got a steal in Pete Werner. My final thoughts going into this training camp: I believe Pete Werner is going to win the weak side linebacker role on this team, and rightfully so, because he actually has that. He has that experience at the position. He was a leader for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I know Zack Baun was a leader for the Wisconsin Badgers, but those things are different. You know, Pete Werner is a guy who comes off as a little more aggressive, kind of like the Mario Davis is. He doesn't like losing. He doesn't like losing whatsoever. And he has this pedigree to him to where if he messes up on one play, he's going to make you feel it the very next play. So right now, those are my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole battle between Zack Baun and Pete Werner? Do you guys believe that he is going to win over Pete Werner, or do you believe Pete Werner is going to win that starting position? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm sorry it wasn't a little more informative. Like I said, this is just my opinion as I try to get through, you know, this dry off season and we're getting to training camp. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Smokeless YT, thank you for this.
Listen, man, the word is unstoppable. The word is unstoppable. You are unstoppable. You know why? Because you've been equipped. Look inside. You've been equipped with everything you need to be the force you need. I am unstoppable. Why? Around you. I can guarantee you. See that?